The untimely death of the talented young artist XXXTentacion is tragic. Before we begin, please be respectful in the comments due to the sensitive nature of the topic. Let's explore together. Jahseh Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, better known to the rest of the world as XXXTentacion, was born in Plantation, Florida on January 23, 1998. Since that is the location where XXXTentacion was born, our journey will begin there. Growing up in such an uncertain environment faced X with a multitude of challenges, beginning at a young age and continuing far into adulthood. In spite of the challenges, he was able to discover solace in music, and he began to express himself via the art that he created. There was nothing traditional about the route that X took to popularity on their way to glory. As a result of the unique fusion of hip-hop, rock, and emo influences that he incorporates into his music, he quickly garnered the attention of fans from all around the world. After the release of X's breakthrough single, Look at Me, which marked the beginning of a remarkable path to popularity for the artist, X started to be seen as a symbol of a new school within the hip-hop community. However, there is certain to be some contention surrounding something that is so widely known. X was facing legal troubles, including claims of domestic assault, which created significant disagreements among both supporters and detractors of his work. X was accused of assaulting a family member. His personal life was under investigation, but he used his music as a type of redemption by confronting the obstacles he encountered and seeking to evolve both as an artist and as a person. He also addressed the fact that the inquiry was being conducted against him. It became very evident that X possesses a great deal of variety as an artist following the release of his debut album, titled 17, which demonstrated a more sensitive and introspective side of X. His subsequent album further solidified his reputation as an artist who defies classification by being unafraid to explore a variety of musical styles and subject matter. This contributed to his image of being an artist who defies categorization. XXXTentacion became apparent in the midst of all of the chaos. In January 2019, some months after X's untimely passing, the birth of the man's first child, Jahseh Onfroy, took place. The birth of the artist's child introduced a new dimension to his legacy, prompting followers to speculate about the ways in which the artist's growing viewpoint and creative expression may have been influenced by the experience of becoming a parent. The complications of XXXTentacion's legacy are something that his family, both biological and expanded through his fan base, continues to struggle to come to terms with. A nuanced image of a young artist navigating the convergence of celebrity, family, and the unrelenting pursuit of creative expression is painted by the merging of personal struggles and artistic genius in a way that portrays a complex picture of artistic brilliance. Let's fast forward to the 18th of June in the year 2018, a date that has brought about sweeping transformations in the global music industry. During that sweltering afternoon in Florida, XXXTentacion made a pit stop in Deerfield Beach at a motorcycle store. The sun was at a rather low altitude in the sky. It started off as a routine procedure that was entirely commonplace, and it's possible that he tried to use it as a way to escape the craziness that was his life at the time by distracting himself with it. He was unaware that this trip, which on the surface appeared to be unremarkable, would in fact serve as the backdrop for a frightening and emotionally taxing occurrence. Upon leaving the dealership, X was met by a group of people who would eventually alter the course of the history of music. These people were all connected in some way. Due to the murkiness with which they were contending, both of the individuals who were interested in the young artist kept their names and goals a secret from one another. The center of their interest was the young artist. After that, there was a chaotic scene that unfolded, a moment captured in time that would reverberate across headlines and vibrate through the feelings of people all around the world. The specifics of the attack are peculiar, and the sequence in which the events transpired is difficult to wrap one's head around. X got embroiled in a violent altercation with the criminals, who were armed and persistent in their assault on him. It was during those trying times the world lost a talent that was on the verge of exceeding styles and a voice that connected with a generation that is today confronting its own challenges and hardships. The loss of this talent occurred at the same time that the world suffered the loss of a voice. When the terrible events of that day had finally died down and the dust had settled, the wheels of justice finally started turning. Because law enforcement officials were intent on discovering the truth about what led to XXXTentacion's death, they launched a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the musician's passing. The individuals responsible for the attacks, who had cast a dark cloud over the world of music, were relentlessly pursued with the intention of bringing them to justice. The inquiry did, in the end, provide results, which led to the arrest of the persons who were being investigated for their possible involvement. As the court hearings progressed, it became abundantly evident that the reason behind the attack looked to be rooted in a terrible act of robbery. This conclusion was reached as the court processes unfolded. Fans were left not only suffering with bereavement, but also with the unexplainable violence that led to the murder of their icon, and the revelation that this gave an additional layer of senselessness to an event that was already tragic. The legal proceedings became a spotlight, shedding light not only on the individuals who attacked X, but also on the intricacies of his life as a whole. As the courtrooms were transformed into arenas of justice, the audience members found themselves on an emotional roller coaster. They were torn between the need for vengeance and the tragic realization that no resolution of the legal proceedings could bring back their slain hero. The courtroom was transformed into a stage on which the delicate dance of justice could be played as the prosecution tried to uncover the reasons behind the behavior of those guilty of depriving the world of XXXTentacion. As more evidence became available, a picture began to emerge that painted a picture of an attack that was well planned and deliberate, going beyond the mere desire to achieve pecuniary profit. This was an image that began to build as more information became accessible. It was an attack on originality, on a voice that had the nerve to be raw and unrefined in its delivery. As the legal processes progressed, so did the communal grief of fans who were attempting to reconcile the vivacious artist they knew with the seriousness of the attack. As the legal proceedings progressed, so did the collective grief of fans. The drama that took place in the courtroom turned into a venue for confronting disturbing realities, not only about the perpetrators of the crime, but also about the problems that X himself had to overcome during the course of his brief, but significant existence. The drama that took place in the courtroom became a site for confronting these realities as it progressed. The court battles were not simply about holding individuals accountable for their behavior. Rather, they evolved into a reflection of the intricacy of celebrity and mental health, as well as the delicate balance that artists like X managed on a day-to-day basis in their careers. The courtroom, which was once thought of as a depiction of justice, has recently been transformed into a small version of society's efforts to comprehend the intricate nature of the human experience. Previously, the courtroom was seen as a symbol of justice. As the trial progressed, X's supporters waited with bated breath for the verdict, hoping that it would bring some measure of closure to the enormous wound that X's departure had caused. As the proceedings progressed, those who supported the defendants held their breath. The courtroom, which is often a setting characterized by emotionless legality, turned into a focal point for the feelings of the community as a whole. It turned into a symbol of justice that was pursued not just for the purpose of the law, but also for the memory of the artist who had an impact on the lives of so many people. When the decision was finally reached and handed down, it marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of the next. The perpetrators who were responsible for this heinous act were given the appropriate punishment in accordance with the decision that was reached by the justice system. In spite of this, echoes of feeling continued to be present. The closing of the courtroom did not put an end to the misery that the fans were experiencing, nor did it eliminate the questions that continued to weigh heavily on their minds as they pondered the what-ifs and the harsh reality of living in a world without X. As a result of the decision made by the court, the legacy of XXXTentacion has taken on a different hue. These days, it was about more than just the music. It was about the tenacity of an artist's influence that persisted even after the artist's passing, as well as the tenacity of a fan following that persisted despite the occurrence of sad events. Even after the legal proceedings were concluded, the voice of X was never really muted in the hearts of those who found solace, drive, and catharsis in the work that he created. XXXTentacion was more than simply an artist in the music industry. He was a disruptor. XXXTentacion was taken from us too soon. As a pioneer, he is recognized for his skill in quietly fusing a variety of musical styles and in pushing the boundaries of traditional hip-hop. It was more than just a song. It was a seismic event that rocked the foundation of the music industry when it was released. Look at Me. It was an affirmation that the purpose of X's presence was not to blend in with the crowd, but rather to challenge and reimagine the fundamentals of artistic expression. The recording studios and performing venues were not the only places where his influence was felt. X's courageous commitment to his craft was shown in songs like Say and Moonlight, and it not only connected with listeners, but also had a lasting impact on the music business as a whole. Say and Moonlight are just two examples. At a time when fabricated identities and repetitive soundtracks were the norm, he came to symbolize authenticity. But X's impact was felt in more ways than just the rapping and the rhythms. His teachings on being vulnerable, making progress, and accepting oneself struck a chord with followers who were going through challenging periods of their own. His songs served as a mirror for a generation of people who were grappling with issues of identity and mental health, as well as the harsh realities of coming of age in a culture that was undergoing rapid transformation. They routinely discussed his problems in an unfiltered manner. After his passing, XXXTentacion was elevated to the status of an icon, not only as a result of his artistic prowess, but also as a result of his relevance as a symbol for a generation working through the difficulties associated with navigating issues of identity and adversity. Because he was willing to be candid about his own struggles, both in public and in his songs, he was able to build a unique connection with his fans, who found solace in the fact that he was telling the truth about his life. The influence of X extended beyond the realm of music and lyrics and into the realm of action. He had previously indicated that one of his goals was to make use of his position to effect positive change in the world. Even though his life was taken from him in such a violent manner, progress was made. His words of tenacity and solidarity spurred followers to organize for social problems, and his legacy acted as a push for constructive action. His words of perseverance and solidarity encouraged followers to organize for social problems. The scandals that had previously formed the foundation of X's public persona began to fade into the background as attention shifted to the substance of X's works and the legacy he left behind in the cultural world. Because of the posthumous release of his work, which included the album, as well as other unpublished recordings, his influence was amplified, and fans were given the opportunity to acquire a deeper comprehension of the multifaceted artist's way of thinking. When we think about what happened when XXXTentacion left the music industry, we realize that his influence is still powerfully felt in the business, and that there is not simply a void where he used to be. Instead of being a dusty relic, his legacy is a living demonstration of the power of unrestrained self-expression and the ability of creativity to transcend both time and place. Despite the controversy and the legal challenges, XXXTentacion's legacy will continue to live on as a testament to the transformative power of art. He is still renowned not only for the genre that he reimagined, but also for the people who, in his unfiltered honesty, discovered bravery, inspiration, and comfort. This is one of the reasons why his work is still so influential. As we navigate the constantly shifting landscape of the music industry, let us do so while keeping X's legacy in mind. It serves as a reminder that real craftsmanship has no limits, and that the influence of the hands who produced it can outlive those hands. In conclusion, the real story behind XXXTentacion's death is both a triumph and a tragedy. It sheds light on the complicated link that exists between fame and the lived experience of humans. It is a story that goes beyond the headlines and provides a glimpse into the intricacies of an artist navigating the rough waters of life. It is a story that goes beyond the headlines and provides a glimpse into the nuances of an artist. This is a story that extends much beyond what has been reported in the media. Let us, as we reflect on his life, acknowledge the duality that XXXTentacion embodied, the achievements in his musical journey, as well as the tragedies that clouded his personal difficulties. XXXTentacion was a young man who had a lot of troubles in his personal life. XXXTentacion was a young man who had a difficult time balancing his personal and business lives. His legacy is not just a story, but rather a dynamic study of the highs and lows that follow a life lived in the public eye. His life was spent in the public glare. His was a life that was always in the public eye, and he made the most of it. It is crucial, when remembering X, to embrace the art he left behind, since this is an homage to the unapologetic attitude he took toward his artistic activities. This is a testament to the unapologetic attitude he took toward his creative endeavors. Because of tunes that defy categorization and a bold adherence to authenticity, his impact on the music industry may be felt well beyond the confines of his time period. This is one of the reasons why his legacy is so significant. Let's make it a priority to bring attention to the significant impact he's had on the lives of a great number of other individuals. Fans who were going through challenging times found solace, motivation, and courage in X's songs, and he became a source of these things for them. X became a source of these things for his fans. Those who discovered comfort in the unfiltered sincerity of his articulation will never forget how deeply embedded in their hearts his ideas of self-acceptance, growth, and vulnerability are. We are overjoyed that you have chosen to come along with us on this moving journey through the life and work of XXXTentacion, and we thank you for doing so. In the event that you have any thoughts or memories that you would want to share, you are more than welcome to do so in the comments section that can be found below. Your recollections contribute to the waking of a picture that is more complete of our collective experience of remembering. Take care of yourself, and never stop being interested. Together, let's keep XXXTentacion's diverse legacy alive and well until the day we meet again. Until then, take care of yourself.